shout out to Twitter because I don't know if I'm going to make this a series or something, but sometimes there are certain tweets that I see, especially the ones that end up being trending topics, where I end up thinking so much about them that that it's just like I can't fit that into a reply. So, what the topic of discussion for today is the tweet. I don't know if I can put it in, put it somewhere, but the tweet was bring back friends with benefits. What the fuck is a situationship? And yeah, I have some thoughts on that. So let's get into it. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren. I am your resident intuitive baddie. And yeah, we're gonna talk about the differences or the lack of thereof of differences. Is I don't think that they're opposites. I think friends with benefits is the intent and situationship is what it becomes. So, just for the sake of things, we will separate the two. Friends with benefits implies set boundaries from the start. And a situationship, I believe, is, again, I believe, because I think there were a lot of different definitions thrown around when I was looking through that thread. But a situationship is when feelings get involved for one or even both parties, but maybe they're too scared to actually commit, or they're unable to commit because of a situation, whether that's being married, if it's timing, they're just not ready, um, social reasons. There could be many. Um, but yeah, so the reason why I don't really find them to be separate is when you look at the term friends with benefits, the fact that F is for friends already implies. Sorry, I'm looking over here because I wrote notes down and then I got them organized on I got AI to organize them. So, I'm looking over here for my notes, for my organized notes. But yeah, like the fact that F is for friends already starts a problem because friends, by dictionary definition, implies affection, which is where it starts to get messy because of the whole point of, or for what I believe needs to be for friends with benefits to work is that no feelings are involved to stay functional. But those things, those two things can't coexist. And yeah, let me get into why. So the only way that I feel that a friends with benefits arrangement can work is under really specific conditions. The boundaries have to be crystal fucking clear from the start. Both parties need to genuinely, and I say this with the utmost importance, genuinely be honest about what they want and why. Not just agreeing to terms, but like actually meaning it. Actually, it's like both parties need to be like, I do not want anything romantic right now. But see again, right now. um and yeah, the best examples are for the reasons that I kind of mentioned earlier. It's like if somebody's not ready for a relationship, or they're going through something in life and like now's not the time, or they're just not in the right place for it, but they still want physical needs satisfied. But yeah, again, F is for friends, but you can't really be friends, not in the traditional sense. Because once you add that physical layer, then the affection alone makes that complicated, you know? It's like to care about somebody makes that complicated. So why do people do it? Or like, yeah, what's the logic? So again, if you only want the physical needs or your physical needs to be met, from a logical standpoint, friends with benefits is safe because multiple one night stands, especially as a female, isn't physically safe. And I'm going to slide into a little tangent here because I know there's a double standard and I understand the double standard because from like men get praised, most men get praised when they have multiple partners or have a high kill count because um whereas women don't. And the reason why is because for a man can get 20 women pregnant and he could disappear and fall off the face of the earth and would have no consequences other than mental slash spiritual metaphysical ones, right? Whereas a female, you get pregnant by one of these random guys and then the repercussions are big because either you keep the child and that's your life now, you give the child up for adoption, but then you still have to go through the 9 months of pregnancy and then whatever grief comes with being separated from that child that exists now, or you get an abortion, which is an entirely different mental beast because you still have to physically go through stuff. And then there's this mental aspect that nobody talks about that you're carrying with you for life. So it's like basically for the female, this is a life sentence because you physically are connected to whatever starts growing inside of you. So in that aspect, I absolutely understand why there's a double standard. Not saying that it's right. I'm just saying that there is a reason for it. The consequences are much higher for females. Sliding out of that tangent now. So, going back to this, it makes absolute sense that you would choose a consistent person on a purely physical level. And also, it's just like, yeah, it's somebody that you can trust on an intimate level, or you know them. And then also, they probably perform how you want. It's like if they know how to work your body, then it makes sense to go back to the same person that knows how to work your body than to go to rant like a bunch of different people and where it can fluctuate and it's like one could be good one night, one could be bad one night, or it's like you could kiss a million frogs before you get to one that does it really well. It's like, again, on paper, it sounds reasonable. It makes sense. But unfortunately, the same things that make it make sense are the same things that make it um oh that allow the conditions for it to evolve because the consistency of trust and intimacy, which is the appeal, just leaves the door open for feelings. Whether you're a man or a woman, but I do think that this affects females more because either way, you're building an environment when you're going back to the same person consistently. So over time, it's just really, really hard to keep it emotionally neutral indefinitely. The trap. It's the trap. So no matter what you set from the beginning, you can't control feelings if they change. Like it's it's not contractual. Is that a word? Contractual. It's like basically what I'm saying is like you can't go back into the contract and be like, yeah, you said in the beginning that you would not have feelings, so therefore you must kill the feelings. Like it doesn't work like that. We're all still human, and it again, it's the trap of it. And even if you keep it ambiguous, it's like ambigu amb ambu ambiguity ambiguity, wow, what a word. Ambiguity is never neutral. And honestly, you should look at that as a red flag if somebody goes out of their way to keep it undefined, because avoidance has its own answers. It kind of goes back to, did I say something about people being scared? Oh, just not like, oh yeah, yeah, I did. Um, but it implies something about just being scared of feelings, because again, I do think it could work if you're completely crystal clear in communication. So it's like if somebody is trying to keep it ambiguous and not give you answers and keep you in the dark type of shit, there's something deeper there. um is yeah, like a person who feels nothing has no reason to avoid a conversation. uh ah but yeah, there's a lot of people in situationships that I want to say tell themselves that things are undefined, or but the like the other person is communicating in silence in some way. But yeah, it's just like you shouldn't have to feel like you're being left in the dark. So if this is you, if you are somebody who has had this arrangement and then feelings do show up, my advice to you is to be real about it and fucking say something. Please, for the love of God, say something. I think a lot of people don't, and I do believe this is something that falls on a lot of females as well, just because we are more naturally emotional beings. But I think what happens is sometimes they don't want to lose the whole relationship, so rather than to risk it, they just stay in it and try to stay silent. But at that point, it's like this friends with benefits label, situationship, whatever you're calling it, has to end, because it either needs to end completely or become something real. Because if it does not, then you leave yourself in this weird gray area middle and you get hurt, plain and simple, because you might be staying in this in hopes that it becomes something, but maybe you're waiting for signals from the other person, or if you have talked about it and they said no and you just decided to keep going with it, and in some sort of hopes that that it changes over time, or like they change their mind over time. It's like you, for all you know, you could be setting yourself up for failure, because even if you're right and there are feelings involved, then it's just like by staying in it, you're giving them, you're enabling them to keep it ambiguous. You know what I mean? You know what it reminds me of? And I don't know why this is coming up, but you know when somebody who wants kids gets together with somebody who doesn't want kids, and they think, oh, maybe just maybe like like they'll say, okay, yeah, like I'm cool with it, I don't want kids. But then it's really because there's this subconscious thing where they think that they might change their mind later down the line, and it's just like that's not fair. It's not fair to believe that someone is going to conform to your beliefs, especially when they've made that stance clear. So I want to say that that's the same here, where it's like if somebody has made their stance clear, regardless of whether you believe there's potential for change or if there's feelings and like you're just hoping for them to work it out and stop being scared, save yourself the trouble and just get out of it, because that's exactly how it becomes a situationship, because it feels like you're in something but it's not really what you want, but it feels enough like a relationship for you to suffice. It's like taking scraps. So again, the only two options there is to end it or define it. Um but yeah, this this argument that was on Twitter about like bring back friends with benefits, I get it. I do get it. I get why people said it. But it again, it's not like even just thinking about it, it's not rooted in healthy reasoning, you know? It's the reason why it feels safer than a situationship is just because the terms are stated upfront. But again, that doesn't mean that the outcome would be different if the conditions aren't right, or that things can't change over time. And oh well, Lauren, how do you know this? How why are you even talking about this? Oh fuck, you think I know? um like I'm not trying to get too much into this, and I know that usually I'm all about telling you guys shit that goes on in my life, because yeah, I love that people can learn from it. But so yeah, I think I agree with there were because there was also a lot of replies that were basically saying that they are the same thing, it's just a different label. And I do believe that, because really it's a gateway, I want to say. um but yeah, to close this out, if you're in this, feelings show up, please have a conversation. And if you can't have a conversation with them, take that as the conversation. And yeah, it's always better to have a conversation than silence. This and to get into like, I guess, a more conscious component, to get into some teachings back into what I actually do. It's like what's it called? In the four agreements, there is one of the agreements is don't make assumptions. And basically that that agreement comes from the fact that as humans, we have this inherent need to know things, and when we don't know things, our brain fills in the gaps, and that's what an assumption is. And basically, you don't want to live in an assumption, because an assumption is basically just a story you're telling yourself. It's not based in reality. And at the end of the day, you want to be living in reality. You want to know, you want to have those answers. So ask them, because or, yeah, ask for the define it. Ask for the definition, because even if you can't get a direct answer from the person, that in itself again, is the direct answer. And it should already tell you what to do. But at the end of the day, people are going to do what they do. And unfortunately, we are in a world right now where fast and easy and accessible is what it is. It's what most people go for, and a lot of people like to learn the hard way. But regardless, if you I hope it resonated. I hope this helps some people, and if not, I really hope you at least found it interesting. And yeah, until next time. Bye.